All right, we are live with today's podcast. I'm going to be joined by MT Bates, the guy that I talked with before, and we are going to talk about the disaster that is Monster-Mania of this year. And, well, I'm going to let him on and see if he is willing to talk. Hello there, Mr. Bates. I guess you're here.
I am.
Yeah, all right. So I've been following your coverage lately about Monster-Mania. Tell us a little bit about what Monster-Mania actually is. Like,
well, Monster-Mania is a East Coast horror convention that started up in the early 2000s, maybe like 2003, 2004. That's when they started.
Yeah, all right.
And it started very small and eventually just continued to grow and grow and grow to the point where this last one last week was their 39th convention.
Oh, 39 conventions. Wait, that is more than than one a year.
Yeah, they do. For the longest time, they did 2 a year. They did one in March and one in August, both at the same location.
All right.
There was 1 year where they did 3, one in March, one in August, and I think there was one in April, and that was in Connecticut. And now every year they always do 3, having a third one in September in Maryland.
All right. So you have been to a lot of these conventions, if I remember correctly.
I've probably been to just Monster-Mania alone. I've been going since, I don't know, Monster-Mania 5 or Monster-Mania 6. All
right. So you're very familiar with the people behind it and stuff like that, as I have seen your videos. So what was different this year?
Well, as I said, this convention has been growing ever since it started many years ago. And what I liked about this convention, as compared to a more well-known and more established convention that's 20 minutes from where I live, is that this convention was run a lot better. It was a lot more organized, a lot more friendly, and a lot more accessible to fans, especially new fans. So that is what drew me to continue to go and put money into Monster-Mania when compared to another long-standing convention, as I said, that's only about 20 minutes from me.
All right.
Well, so
wait, before we continue, so it's a little bit like the indie convention that grew up. Like it started like a small indie convention compared to the bigger ones, and
exactly. It started off very small, very humble. You know, a couple of vendors, a couple of guests, and it eventually grew into something much bigger, to the point where it is now in league with other big name conventions like Horror Find and Horror Hound and Rock and Shock and Chiller Theater. These are all conventions that have been around for a very long time and that people know.
Yeah.
And now Monster-Mania is now one of those conventions.
Yeah, all right. So because the only horror convention we got in Sweden, I think, I'm not gonna swear on this, there might be some I missed, is the sci-fi convention. They usually do both horror and sci-fi at the same time. It is mainly a sci-fi. It's called the sci-fi convention, but you know, they do horror, they do sci-fi, and a little bit. I think they do a little bit of everything, because they usually have, you know, horror actors and directors coming to that place. And it's usually in Stockholm. I've never been there. I would like to go someday, but I feel like it's not that, you know, concentrated as Monster-Mania or other horror-focused conventions would be.
Probably. one of the biggest and most well-known and original horror conventions is Chiller Theater, and Chiller Theater is actually only 20 minutes from my house. All right. And Chiller Theater started back up in the very early 90s. So it's one of the longest standing conventions. And when you look at their guest list, it's funny nowadays. Their guest list, it's like 1/4 horror, and the rest are all like very obscure actors from like fond 60s and 70s television series and stuff. Yeah, right. So yeah, so it's like a lot of horror convention, like that, you know, that's like the biggest horror convention aside from Fangoria, and they they get way less horror stars than any other convention.
But it's Fangoria. Fangoria would also be the magazine.
Yeah,
but I think they just, you know, resurrected the magazine. It died, right?
It did die for a little while, and then out of nowhere, it got resurrected. It should be back on shelves very, very soon.
Awesome.
But they also did multiple conventions throughout the years called Weekend of Horrors.
Okay.
And I've been to 2 of those, and those are really great conventions.
I mean, I think that the problem with a lot of the big conventions is like it's very hard to get personal with the convention. You know, it's very like you buy a meet and greet pass and stuff like that. It's very hard to actually mingle with anyone in, you know, in the business. But I always feel I have gone through some Monster-Mania videos. I've seen yours, and then I started to, you know, backtrack a bit. Like I wanted to see other years, and I felt like it's the kind of convention that is a little bit easier to actually really meet people. Well, this year, obviously, it was not easy to meet anyone, according to your videos.
No. So this year was a lot different compared to other years, wherein they got a lot of headlining guests.
Yeah.
Normally, Dave, he's the owner and the promoter of Monster-Mania, and basically he would get 1, normally 2 headlining guests per show. Yeah. And when I say headlining guest, I mean a big name guest in horror.
Yeah, like you mean like an A-list actor or something that is well considered A-list in the horror community.
Exactly.
Not necessarily A-list in the actor world, but in the horror community.
Exactly. You know, we're talking Robert Englund or Bruce Campbell, George Romero, John Carpenter. Yeah. You know, these would be the A-list headlining guests for a show.
Yeah.
And typically there would be 1 or 2 of those a show. But Dave decided to go kind of above and beyond this year, and he got way more headlining guests than he's ever gotten before, which included John Carpenter, Tim Curry,
all the
kids. Yeah, all the Jasons except for Derek Mears.
Yeah.
In costume. All the kids from the remake of It were there, aside from the one kid who's also in Stranger Things, but all the other kids from the Loser Club were there.
Oh, okay.
Pee Wee Herman, Elvira. I mean, these were all headlining guests.
I am surprised they didn't invite the Misfits. I mean, that would be like, you know what, we're all going our way anyway, so good. But there were some troubles this year. That you know, usually a convention that is going big starts to really map out problems in the first place. If we take festivals, for example, music festivals, they tend to, you know, really explode in growth. But usually, the administration already knows that, like, so they take precautions and make sure that everything goes as smoothly as possible. And this year's Monster-Mania did not do that.
No, they knew and they were expecting a lot more people than usual just because of the guest list.
Yeah.
I mean, also on that guest list was Randy Quaid. I mean, he's not a horror actor, but Randy Quaid is very beloved because of you know, a lot of his movies, you know, the National Lampoon movies and stuff.
Yeah.
And he was probably one of the biggest guests and biggest deals for this convention because for anybody not familiar with Randy Quaid, he has a lot of issues in the United States. He can't be in the United States. He has warrants out for his arrest for tax evasion. So when he got announced, everybody was going crazy because nobody knew he was even allowed back in the United States.
Yeah.
well, it turned...
I like that. Now we have a fugitive on our lineup, so and everyone will go crazy with that, obviously. But here's what I think. I don't think that like anyone wanted the disaster, but I'm kind of surprised how someone that done 39 cons isn't more structured in a way that they should assess problems that they know could happen.
Yeah, that was the issue. I mean, and he was banking on a lot of people garnering interest in a lot of these guests, and I guess he put a lot of faith into, especially Randy Quaid, being able to make it. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, he was still not allowed back in the United States. He had multiple warrants out for his arrest. He ended up getting to the United States, but getting stuck in, I believe, JFK Airport in New York City, and couldn't make it. So he wasn't there Friday, and he wasn't there Saturday.
Oh God!
And that really pissed off a lot of people. A lot of people drove out. I was talking to one guy who drove out from Detroit.
Holy shit! That is far.
Yeah, from Detroit to New Jersey is a bit of a drive, and he drove from Detroit to New Jersey just for Randy Quaid. And
oh my God, okay. I feel really bad for that guy, right? So yeah, I mean, like the problem with booking. If we just go back a little bit, like when he booked that guest, wouldn't it be before announcing it, actually checking papers on that?
I don't know, because he typically doesn't book guests that have warrants out for their arrest.
No, of course not. But I was like, but if you know that, like if you know that this person is, they look for him, wouldn't it be great to cross-reference that and like is this person allowed here?
Well, what I think had happened, and I'm not going to entirely blame Dave on this.
All right.
But he should have known better. But what I think happened was he probably talked to Randy's agent, and his agent probably assured him that he would be able to make it. They would be able to get maybe stays on the warrants or something to where he wouldn't be persecuted and hunted down because of them. He would be able to go and do the convention for 2 days, make some money, and then flee back to Canada without any issue.
Yeah, all right. So, okay, all right. So that might not be entirely Monster-Mania's fault, but they kind of still knew who they were booking. Yeah,
but basically what they should have done is they should have put a disclaimer up on their site for Randy Quaid saying, we have confirmed that he's going to do his best to make it, but we cannot guarantee his appearance because of his current status within the United States. There should have been a disclaimer to kind of deter people from making a long trip just for this guest.
Yeah, I mean, because I mean, of course they want to roll that out that he's coming because that is exciting. But we also know that you know, the police in the United States or whatever, they don't give a fuck. So it's like, I don't give a fuck what you're gonna do here. You're on like this wanted list. Go fuck yourself. We're gonna, you know, and I mean, I don't want to blame Monster-Mania for this because entirely, because also his fucking agent booking him on that trip without checking his legal status. Like, are you trying to get him into prison? It's not
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that he flew into New York, and he was probably alerted that there were maybe cops or agents or something waiting to take him in. So he probably never left customs, which kept him safe.
Yeah, because, you know, international airspace rulings, they couldn't get him there.
Exactly.
but I mean, his agent should know his legal status. So if we don't blame Monster-Mania for this one, we can at least blame his dumbass agent. They should have all the legal papers on everything here. Like,
yeah,
that is insane.
They really should have put a disclaimer on him saying that, you know, we have confirmed he's going to try to make it, but he's no guarantee.
But hey, Bishamon, welcome. But there was also the problem with the hotel, right? So
the hotel almost always sells out. That's been the case for the last 7-8 years.
Yeah.
That, you know, as soon as they start announcing guests for the show, depending on who the guest is, the hotel will start booking up really, really fast. So the hotel selling out is not a big deal.
No, that's usually how it goes when it's music festivals or whatever. The hotels, because not everyone wants to sleep in tents, and this one is placed within a city, so you can't sleep in a tent. So for most festivals or conventions, the local hotels are going to have a rise, you know, in renting out rooms. But what I covered from your videos was that people had booked rooms, but wasn't able to get in.
Well, no, it's not that they had booked rooms. It's that they had bought, you know, tickets in advance.
Okay.
And they weren't being allowed in.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's what that is. Basically, anybody who had a room had a room. That wasn't an issue.
Okay, so the hotel didn't do anything weird. It was just that. But was any part where was Monster-Mania placed? Like, because people that bought ticket wasn't allowed into the hotel, so they couldn't check for rooms. And how far was this from the convention?
The convention was in the hotel.
Oh God. Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, wow. What? Like, how did they plan that?
Well, normally it's never been an issue before. So on Friday is typically a busy day, but not a crazy busy day. Friday is the kind of day you gauge how Saturday is going to be.
All right.
Because Saturday is always the big day. It's the busiest day. It's the one that brings in the most people.
Yeah, it's like most music festivals as well. You go, you know, it starts one day, so you go there, and the next day is the big shit. That's when no one is at the camping, and everyone is, you know, at the stages and everything. Like that is like all, you know, festivals and conventions and things, I guess, because people are getting settled in and stuff.
Yeah, pretty much. Or people, you know, were at work on Friday and couldn't make it on Friday, so they all go on Saturday.
Yeah, well, exactly.
Friday, and, you know, I've been to, you know, 25, you know, probably closer to 30 of these conventions. And this past Friday was busier than the busiest Saturday I've ever seen.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So, that did not bode well for Saturday. And at that point, the people running the convention should have kind of foreseen that and should have had a contingency plan in place to where they would only allow so many tickets to be sold. They should have made announcements on their Facebook, on their Twitter, and said that, we're going to be cutting ticket sales for Saturday at 10:30 or 11 a.m.
All right. So, yeah, because I'm wondering the thing. Since the convention is set in a hotel and a building, usually coming from a guy working in construction, usually has a limit of persons allowed on the premise in case of a fire or something like that.
Correct.
Which is that Monster-Mania ignored that and still sold tickets like fucking maniacs. And like, yeah, you can go, I think you can go a bit over, the limit of the building's limit, but someone should have made an estimate or asked, fire marshals for an estimate of ticket sales that can be made, or,
Yeah, because they've never had this problem before, so they don't have ticket caps. They'll sell as many tickets as they can. They never cap it, and that was their issue. By about 12:30 on Saturday, they had already sold way too many tickets, and there were people still flooding in to the point where they couldn't sell any more tickets. So they officially announced, it was between 12 and 12:30, that they were sold out. They were no longer legally allowed to sell any more tickets at that point because the fire marshal was at the hotel and he closed the hotel down. Nobody could get in.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that is bad. Monster-Mania sounds like fun, and the guys running it obviously have a lot of passion for it. There's no doubt in that. What strikes me here is when you have done 39 of these and you book, really, really popular guests or panels or whatever, someone along the line should have thought about that, because there's like, I mean, all right, so I think this one will be their only fuck up, hopefully. Like, I think they will learn from it.
Well, they're going to have to, because, the hotel obviously took a big hit at that point. When you get the fire marshal calling on you,
God, yeah.
This was the third time he was there for that convention, because he had come earlier on Friday because they were setting up this big tent right outside of the vendor rooms where they were going to hold all the panels. Now, that was something new. They never normally do that. But where they normally hold their panels, they had Elvira and Paul Rubens signing autographs in that room. So they had to find a new room for their panels.
Oh.
So they rented this tent, and they set up this tent almost right on top of the hotel. Well, when the fire marshal got word of that, he came out and took a look at it, and he put the kibosh on it. He said, you can't do that. You got to take this tent down. You can't have anybody in this tent. So that meant that 5 out of the 7 panels that were scheduled were now canceled because they didn't have a plan B on where to hold the panels.
All right, so back to bad planning there. It's not hard to call the fire marshal and ask. I think most festivals and stuff do that. Like, where can we put things that burn up easily? Like, no, but all right. So, what 5 out of, what did you say? How many panels?
There were 7 panels scheduled. Only 2 happened.
All right. So what 2 panels happened? The Jason one.
Yeah, that was the headlining panel. The We Were Jasons with 6 of the Jason actors.
Yeah.
And the panel before that was a John Carpenter Q&A, which was beyond, sorry to say, it was beyond boring.
Okay.
Yeah, he is not good when it comes to answering questions.
No, I actually had realized that a long time ago, because watching interviews with John Carpenter makes me want to like take a knife and stab myself in the eye until the sweet death releases me. It's like he is really great, but he's really bad at talking. But right, so 2 panels happened. That means 5 panels was canceled. Like, I mean, are these panels included in the regular ticket?
Yes, they are part of the show, and they're a big drawing point lately, because you know it's a good hour with the guest, and the fans get to ask them questions, and they're usually a lot of fun, as long as the fans don't ask really, really stupid questions, which usually you get 1 or 2 of them. There was one of them in the We Were Jason panel that I filmed. Yeah. But you always get that one person who's going to ask just a really stupid question.
You're always going to get the edgelord. It's like always. And so anyway, so the rest of the convention, I mean, you obviously got in because you were early. You had a room at the hotel, I guess.
Yes.
And you were allowed in, and I saw you walk in the vendors hall. Was there any problems there, or was the vendor hall was maybe successful, or what?
Well, first of yes, I was let in because I had a room at the hotel, but for a little under 2 hours, when the fire marshal shut the hotel down, I couldn't even get back to my room. They would not let me in.
Okay.
Because I happened to be outside before I knew that the hotel was being shut down. So I got screwed. I got stuck outside for almost 2 hours.
Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Sales-wise, how have Monster-Mania handled this? Do they do refunds for people, or because I would guess some people actually never got in?
Yeah, a lot of people who drove there on Saturday midday, obviously drove there for nothing because they couldn't get in. A lot of people who paid for, who did pre-buys for photo ops, a lot of people did not get their photo ops. So, as far as damage control, Monster-Mania has been really, really bad with it. When people were asking refunds for their photo ops that they never got, all Monster-Mania is telling them to do is contact the photography company. They're not giving them any other information.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, because I'm on their website right now on the stream, and there is no mention how you get your money back. There is nothing. There is just ticket sales have now closed. There is nothing about anything. And like, if people didn't get it, there should be like a public statement on it.
Well, Dave made one statement Sunday night after the show ended, and it was a very blanketed statement saying that they were aware of the issues on Saturday and that the hotel had to be temporarily closed for under an hour, which was a lie. It was much closer to 2 hours than under an hour.
Yeah, wait, I have the post here. It says First off, we want to say thank you to those who attended the show this weekend. Obviously, the turnout of people coming to buy tickets on Saturday was much larger than we ever had before. We stopped selling tickets about 90 minutes before the fire marshal temporarily shut the doors for about an hour. We are very sorry for the inconvenience this caused anyone, and we did our very best to get everyone inside as quickly as we could. I'd like to thank our staff for doing all they could during this time, blah, blah, blah. We will be addressing every aspect of the show, as we do with every show, including venue, guest list, advance, and the day of show ticket sales, etc. We have ready every comment made here, the positive, the negative, the angry, and the times insulting. We welcome and are taking into consideration all constructive criticism offered. We very sincerely appreciate all of your support, and we work hard to regain your trust in us for those who have been with us for all these many years. Okay, right. So the ratio here is there's mostly likes to the post, but there is a lot of angry people too.
Yes. Well, pretty much almost everything they said in that statement is, I wouldn't say an out-and-out lie, but it's stretching the truth greatly.
Yeah.
The fire marshal was there while they were still selling tickets. That was a lie. They didn't stop selling 90 minutes before the fire marshal came. The hotel was closed for well over an hour. As I said, much closer to 2 hours than 1 hour.
All right.
There was something else that they said that wasn't true. I'll have to look at the post while we're talking, but
yeah, It sounds like the regular blanded, copy paste excuse bullshit that a lot of people draw, and I can see how the knee-jerk reaction is to do that, but I also feel it's kind of disrespectful because people know, like, you have filmed a lot of it, and I watched it on YouTube. I will link that in the description when this goes up to YouTube. So I will link all your Monster-Mania videos in that, and I feel like a little bit like maybe he panicked and then didn't know what the fuck to do. So
no, that's exactly what happened. Because the other thing he said that's a lie is that they're going to what was it? We welcome and are taking into consideration all constructive criticism. Well, he already deleted 2 or 3 posts that had about 2,000 comments on them.
Oh, okay.
Before he deleted 2 posts that had, I would say, anywhere from 2,000 to 3,000 comments between the 2 of the posts.
Yeah. And
then posted this. So he was already doing damage control before he made that announcement.
All right. Yeah. So I think what should be done when you have a disastrous thing like this, the worst shit you can do is doubling down. Like, that is the worst shit you can do. Trying to clean slate things, trying to sweep over things. Just admit to your faults, and people will, understand. But it's some kind of knee-jerk reaction people have that they have to, make it less worse than it was. And because, I mean, I haven't been to many conventions that has been disastrous, but I've been to some music festivals that has been. And the thing is always the same. It's like we almost tell the truth, but then we don't. Like, it's stupid, right? It's stupid.
Yeah, very. Considering that there were more than enough people there to corroborate, the truth about what really happened.
Yeah.
And it's what's really even more sad is the groups of white knights that are trying to say that these were only little issues, and the show was amazing. And, you know, everybody bitching about how the show went, especially on Saturday, or over-exaggerating and blowing it up way out of proportion. When, you know, I have videos of angry fans that were stuck outside for 2.5 hours waiting for their photo ops that I don't know if they ever got.
No, I don't think they did. It doesn't sound like it. Because to be fair to the actors and stuff that, you know, show up, you know, they don't have all the time in the fucking world. So I don't think all of them got their ops. All right, so I need to go away a second because my cat is climbing in my window. So my window in the living room.
Okay.
So I need to take her down. I will be right back. Before she breaks everything. So right, I'll be right back with you.
All right.
All right, I got it down. Crazy motherfucker. Right, so Monster-Mania, not Cat-Mania. So, but yeah, but as Bishamon says here in chat, we totally apologize, but we don't, and we thank you for continued support. Also, fuck your mom. It's kind of, I mean, I hate non-apologies. Like, I really hate non-apologies because they're like a slap in the face. Like, I know they need to secure, you know, money, and they need to secure, you know, continuation of support so they can do another convention. But I think non-apologies just makes that worse.
Yeah. One of the biggest issues they were running into, especially at this convention, were so Monster-Mania sells VIP passes. And a VIP pass is it's a full weekend pass, which they sell by themselves.
Yeah,
but
we have it on screen here. It's the VIP ticket that puts you first, only $150.
Yeah, so it's a $150 pass, and what you get extra with that is you get into the show an hour earlier, which again you can buy that. You can buy a pre-show pass for I think an extra $10 for the weekend for that perk. But you also get front row seating for all the panels. You get a free T-shirt. You get one line skip of your choice for a guest for an autograph. You still have to pay for the autograph, but you can skip the entire line. You can do that once. And you get access to their Friday night VIP party, which, for whatever reason, I didn't hear one word about this year. So it must have been not a very good party because I didn't see any pictures. I didn't hear any good things about it.
Wait, I haven't even heard of that.
Yeah, normally there's pictures and posts from the VIP party from people taking pictures. They always have these fancy special cakes and, you know, with horror themes to them, and, you know, some of the guests are there hanging out with the fans, but I didn't hear anything about that this year. So either it didn't happen or it just sucked.
Are we gonna assume it didn't happen? I mean, I think that is a logical leap basically because I looked backwards and as I said I went through some before this podcast to have a little bit what Monster-Mania is, and now that you say it, I realized the videos I looked at was actually mentioning the party, but I haven't heard anything of that. And
yeah, I'll have to look into it more to see if I know anybody who went.
Yeah, Bishamon says if it sucked, you would read and hear about it as well because people would complain. So, I mean, okay, all right. So that is not a good.
Well, the VIP thing also ran into other issues. It said it gives you access to the first 2 rows for all panels. You're guaranteed. Well, 5 of the panels were canceled, so that part of the VIP perk was moot. Then you get a free T-shirt. I heard they ran out of free T-shirts by Friday night.
Yeah. But what? They didn't print enough T-shirts?
No. So I guess it's basically the VIP tickets. I think were all pre-sale tickets. I don't think you could buy them day of. They were all pre-sale tickets.
Yeah, it looks like it. It looks like wait. It says pre-show tickets gained admitted. Blah blah blah. All passes are non-refundable. All passes are non-refundable. It says on the site here that I'm on.
Yeah.
If you're buying passes to see one specific guest, we recommend buying tickets at the door. What the fuck? What?
So yeah, so I heard they ran out of T-shirts.
Is this added later? Is this added later?
No.
All right. Yeah, Bal, welcome to the show. No, we were talking about Monster-Mania this year, which is a clusterfuck. Almost, it's not as bad as Fire Festival or whatever the fuck that was, because that was more like rich people getting the refugee treatment, and this is more like people getting fucked for no reason.
Yeah.
Actually, I enjoyed the Fire thing because it was so ridiculous to see rich people trying to survive. And that was just enjoying. I was enjoying that to full. I don't enjoy this because people that are deserving of seeing a horror convention didn't get to see that. But holy shit, wait, how can you... here's the thing with America. I'm going to point that out right now. Right the fuck now. All passes are non-refundable. That is not even legal here. You can't put that in. That is not legal to say here. You cannot not have refundable tickets. Like I can always turn in my ticket and get my money back here. I can not after it happened, of course, unless I have a reason. But you can't just write out refundables. That is really, really weird. But if you're buying passes to see one specific, okay, that one I get. If you buy a VIP pass just to see Tim Curry, and then Tim Curry has the worst ill day ever of mankind and he can't make it, then you can't refund it. I get that point, yeah, all right. So VIP premiere pass, 1 weekend pass, 1 hour pre-show, admission to exclusive Monster-Mania, VIP Friday night party with ceremonial cake cutting, DJ, and more. What? Oh my god, It sounds like one of those dweeb Twitch parties. It's like...
From what I've seen from photos and videos from past VIP parties, they are pretty friggin' lame. They're really goofy. They're very awkward.
Yeah, because I have seen pictures from the Twitch parties, and it's like all the girl streamers are hiding in one corner while all the male streamers are out to get them. It's like it's stupid. It's stupid. But the thing is, the Twitch parties always had this thing where they are like, yeah, don't post pictures or talk about it. So shitty personalities never get out. Yeah, it's lame.
Well, another big issue we were having with the VIP passes is you get a line skip, right? So everybody who had a VIP pass got one line skip for a guest of their choice. Now, a lot of VIP passes were sold, more than I've ever seen before, because they were special wristbands, so you could point them. You could point them out really easily.
Yeah.
And what was happening is that so many people were using their line skips for people like Tim Curry and John Carpenter that it was turning like a 2 to 3 hour line wait into like a 3 to 4 hour line wait, because VIPs just kept jumping everybody.
Because okay, all right. I can see this as a flaw from a planning side that is acceptable, but I don't like that perk. Like, give them a special, signing line. You understand? Like,
yeah, but like set a time aside. From 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock is VIP signings only.
Yeah, do that, because I don't like the skipping idea, because that is just fucking rude. Like, look at you. You don't have the same amount of money as me, so fuck you. I'm getting the sign, and you have to wait. And I don't like that. I don't like that kind of mentality. I would think that a VIP sign would be better. Like, you have a certain area for VIP signings, and then you have like maybe a Polaroid camera or something like that, so you get a photo signed, stuff like that. I don't know.
Yeah, it was bad. There were a lot of people complaining about that, because I mean, you're sitting there, you're waiting you're waiting 2 to 3 hours just to pay $60 to $80 for an autograph, and for a guy you're going to sit there and talk to for maybe 30 seconds. So when you're seeing hordes of people jumping in line because they have a VIP line pass, and a lot of these people had multiple things getting signed. I mean, these were people who had just all kinds of disposable cash, because anything that got signed was $60. It was $60 per autograph for like John Carpenter.
Yeah, and that is like, I understand the thing that you want to give VIP special perks, but that is just really shitty to people that can't afford it, and I don't like that should be a thing, because they are still there at the show, so they're still paying money. I don't like that at all. But then again, by USA standards, I'm a communist, so I'm having a certain problem with that. But sure, they didn't, see that they would sell that many VIP passes, so the system kind of broke. I can buy that. I can buy that. But I don't think the system is really good anyway, because it's kind of dumb. All right, so let's say the VIP pass, they gave you the party that we don't know if it happened. They gave you the ability to look at poor people and say fuck you. And it's basically what it is. And it gave you guaranteed admissions for all events. All the events that didn't happen.
Yeah.
And VIP sitting as well on those events that didn't happen. But did they have any film screenings?
Yeah, they always do films. The thing is, though, they always just show old films or films that you can get. They never do like advanced screenings for movies that aren't out yet or anything like that. Like they did films. They showed the original It miniseries, and then they showed the new version of It. They'll show movies pertinent to the guests that are there. Like they showed Halloween because John Carpenter was there.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, they don't ever do any like special advanced movie screenings.
All right. Can I just admit this right now, live on camera, in front of some people, and then put it on YouTube, that I am not a very big Halloween fan.
Neither am I.
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people get angry when I say that. It's not that I don't like John Carpenter, but I don't like the first Halloween because it's incomplete. Like, I feel like, and this is gonna piss off people. Rob Zombie's version of Halloween is, I have mixed feelings about it, but I feel like it's better on the background part of Michael Myers, like exploring Michael Myers, why he became the one he is, because I always felt like the original movie is like. All right, so he's a psycho. He, and Rob Zombie did, try to make a better story out of it. Then we can discuss a lot about Rob Zombie and his trash horror that he does, because he likes to do, like, I don't know, very gritty, very trashy. Everything is white trash when it comes. I don't know why he loves white trash so much. I have no idea.
Yeah, it's just like that 70s grindhousey feel, but he makes good movies. If we're just going to talk about him for a second, he just needs somebody to write the dialogue for his movies. The stories in his movies are good. His dialogue is awful. I mean, if you've seen his new movie 31, it's one of the worst unwatchable movies ever, just because of the dialogue.
That is the ambulance movie. Is it 31? No, is it
ambulance movie? No, it looks like it could have been like a devil like a Devil Rejects spin-off movie.
Wait, what is the ambulance movie with Kane Hodder named? Oh God, isn't that Rob Zombie too?
No. Ambulance movie with Kane Hodder? I don't even know what you're talking about.
Wait. I'm going to find it. All right, so let's keep talking. So Monster-Mania is 3 days. How was the last day? I guess it was Sunday.
So typically on Sunday is usually a much quieter day. It's a much easier day to move around, and that was the case come Sunday. And normally for us, for my crew, when Sunday comes, we're all a little bummed out because the weekend's already over and we're getting ready to go home. But by the time Sunday came, this convention, we couldn't wait to just fucking pack up and leave. We were all so exhausted and so worn out. Fighting the crowds downstairs on Saturday was an absolute, it was a madhouse. You couldn't move. You couldn't do anything. I could barely film as much as I wanted to. It was absolutely miserable. But Sunday was a lot more manageable, at least early in the day. I don't know if it picked up later in the day, but by the time we left at around 12 o'clock, it was still pretty calm to where you could walk around and see what was going on. The autograph rooms were still very packed, but at least the vendor rooms weren't too bad.
Yeah, okay. All right, so I found a movie. It's called Old 37. It's not a Rob Zombie movie. It just has a lot of actors from Rob Zombie movies. It has Ken Hodder, but it also had Bill Moseley, for example. This is a movie about some psycho ambulance that picks up people and kills them. It was bad. I thought that was a Rob Zombie movie, but it's not. It's a Paul Travers movie. It's just that Paul Travers decided to take, the cast of Rob Zombie movies and put them in his movie. So yeah, I was wrong. Right. So Sunday probably more manageable, but you left kind of early. You left by 12, so you don't know how it ended up. And frankly, I usually always when it is conventions, I usually see a lot of talk about it on Twitter, stuff like that. I haven't seen anyone but you talk about Monster-Mania. It's like people do not want to talk about this. Like,
Yeah, there was nothing good to talk about. There were very few highlights in the weekend. So
yeah. All right. So on their homepage here, they do not admit to anything. They do not say anything. They do say that the next Monster-Mania is August the 17th.
Yes.
At the same place.
Yeah.
And then the 41 is on September 28th. So they're doing 3 this year.
Yeah, they've been doing 3 the last couple years. 2 in New Jersey, 1 in Maryland.
Yeah, it looks like that. And yeah, that's going to be interesting. I mean, are you going to go to the next one in August?
I have no plans to. I don't have a room. I believe the rooms are already booked up, but after this last one, I have no real interest in going.
That's no surprise.
I plan on going to Chiller Theater next month, though.
All right, so you're gonna get full coverage of that, and wait, I'm gonna link your YouTube channel in the chat right now. I'm also gonna add it on the description of this video when I upload it. But basically, so a lot of shit went down, and right now it doesn't seem like we are having a very good conversation with the hosts. It seems like they are basically trying to do, you know, how ostriches do, like just put their head in the sand and hope it goes away.
I think they're trying to figure out how they can spin this so they don't look so bad. They put out podcasts usually once a month, so they're probably going to try to address some of this stuff, but in the worst way possible on their next podcast.
Oh yeah, so they have a podcast. Great, of course they have. even I have a podcast. Everyone has a podcast. But all right, so I mean, the thing. I mean, I obviously want to go to a horror convention, and wait, I'm looking up your channel. My subscription box is fucked up. Like, yeah, the YouTube search is also fucked up. It's fucked. All right, how the fuck will I find you? Wait, we search Monster-Mania too. Maybe your channel pops up. Yeah, here we are. All right, I tried to click on the username, not the fucking video. All right, there we go. Bates, there you are. Oh, you know that you have a subscribers enough to have a personal YouTube link. You know that, right?
Oh yeah, a custom user. I have a tiny URL name as well. I gotta make that adjustment. I mean, I only just hit over 100 subs from this weekend. From all the coverage I did, I got like a flood of like 30 subscribers. It was cool.
all of them really mad at Monster-Mania. I take it. It's. I mean, that is awesome. I love seeing friends' channels grow. So that is awesome. Like, I mean, so Monster-Mania this year was a disaster, and I would say I wouldn't count on them learning because they bank so much, but
yeah, exactly.
Because you know that usually is a problem, but I want to present a theory here while we're on here. Something that happens to music festivals a lot is that they grow too big to then eventually just collapse upon themselves. They're starting to add too much famous people for too much money, and then they can't make it back in ticket sales. Like, it's impossible to do it. And then they collapse on themselves. I think we had like 2 music festivals in Sweden last year going bankrupt because they can't, make their money back because people aren't going to pay, 250 or $350 for a weekend pass. And I think are Monster-Mania going the same way? Like, are they going to bankrupt themselves?
I don't think so. I think they have enough fans and supporters where they'll be okay for a while. But what I think is going to end up happening is they're going to start to sour the relationship with the hotel, which they've been at for 8 years now, 9 years now.
Yeah.
And after this convention, it's very possible that August might be their last one at this particular hotel. The hotel might say, we have dealt with enough shit from the March convention. It's definitely not worth it for us anymore. Especially with the fire marshal and the police department having to come here and shut us down for a little while. It's not worth it for us to keep this relationship going. Let's finish up our contracts in August, and you're going to have to find a new venue.
Yeah, because the hotel is suffering a lot here. I mean, they have notices by the authorities that this place. I mean, that is going to hurt the hotel, regardless whether you like it or not. No one wants the fire marshal or the police at their place too many times. That is understandable. I think they can. I think they can manage without the convention.
Well, it's actually worse than that, because there were a couple of other incidents that happened over the weekend that I have never seen or heard of happen before at Monster-Mania. One of the incidents happened to be one of the fans had brought a machete for Kane Hodder to sign, which is very common.
Oh my god! Yeah. Okay. Right. Yeah. Okay. I know it's common, but.
It's very, very common. Most of the people bring weapons. They'll bring them a hatchet or a machete, but they're apparently they're checked before they're actually really allowed to go too deep into the hotel. The staff checks them, and just to make sure that they're not sharp or anything, and they're not sharpened. Well, Kane had gotten a machete from a fan to sign, and Kane, if you've ever met Kane, he's a very playful guy. He loves to goof around with his fans and stuff.
Yeah, right. So I never met him, but I know he is that. Like, I know he is that kind of guy.
So he had this machete, and one of the other guests signing autographs there was next to him, a friend of his named Steve Nape, and they were goofing off with this fan's machete, and well, it was apparently very, very, very sharp, and he ended up slicing Steve's arm really bad, to the point where the ambulance had to come and take him to the hospital.
What? Oh my god! It's like my machetes. I mean, I have machetes for a bunch of different reasons. One of them is that I am a hunter, so I go out in the woods and hunt. So sometimes I bring a machete. But because I hunt boar, but that is insane. How did that get past security?
I don't know. They claim that they checked all the weapons because there's so many people that walk around with machetes or especially Freddy gloves. Metal Freddy gloves are very, very popular. But if you look at them, you can tell that none of them are sharp, and most of them have the tips filed down.
Yeah, like rounded and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. But apparently they did not check this machete, and it was sharp enough that it's. And I saw Steve's arm on Saturday night because he was hanging out with Kane before his panel, and his entire forearm was covered in a big white bandage.
Oh my god, that is insane. Why don't they have people, buy the autographs to check? Like, you can see a razor sharp machete. Do I have mine? I'm looking for one of mine. I have one here, I think. No,
So
actually, no. I put it away in a secure place. Uh, that is insane. That is insane. That is fucking batshit. How?
well, that was just one of the things that happened. There was another incident where there was one or two people who were so packed in because there were so many people there that they ended up fading from like heat exhaustion and stuff.
Oh my god. Okay. All right. Yeah.
Somebody got hit in the parking lot with a car.
What? Sorry. I shouldn't laugh. Oh my god. I am horrible. Right. I shouldn't laugh. All right. So someone got hit in the. What the fuck was it? Was this a meth convention? Like everyone is going in, smoking a pipe of crystal, and then it's like, yeah, fuck yeah, we're gonna go on a horror convention, bring razor sharp machetes, and drive people over with cars. That is not really good advertisement. Like,
yeah, no,
it was like it was set in Florida.
It was pretty rough. And
like the guy that brought a razor sharp machete, was he fined by police?
I don't know. I couldn't find any other information on it. They were trying to keep it really, really tight-lipped. I mean, the convention didn't even acknowledge it.
Connection. Hello?
Hey, you there?
He's talking, but I can't hear anything. Wait.
Hey.
Hello? I will call you up. Hello?
Hey.
Yeah, I can't hear you. I will call you up.
Yo.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Give me 1 second.
Oh, yeah, I can hear you now. I can hear it on stream. Yeah, all right. Yeah, I don't know what happened. It feels like my local failed.
No, it was my headset that decided to unpair itself from my phone.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, but people could hear you on stream, so my headset also failed. So great. Was this convention? This convention was not set in Florida.
No,
because it sounds like the typical Florida guy esque headlines.
Yeah, no. This was in New Jersey.
It's the new Florida. It's Jersey Shore horror convention. Yeah, that sounds like a lot of craziness. And yeah.
I was going to say, to answer your question before about the guy who brought the machete, I don't know what happened to him, because the convention, the showrunners never acknowledged the incident happened. So they were very tight-lipped on it. So I don't know if or what happened to the fan who brought that.
Yeah, I mean, if I bring one of my machetes, I would suspect police taking care of me, because I have sharp machetes, and like it's not like I carry them around. I wouldn't take them to a convention. I have a plastic machete for that, because my machetes are actually sharp, and I would hope he got in trouble, because having a sharp machete is a quick way of disposing someone. It's
well, especially in such a crowded environment.
Yeah, it's dangerous as fuck. Actually, a machete in that kind of environment is more dangerous than my hunting rifles, because my hunting rifles, I had to reload, every shot basically. But that would be a machete. It's just slice and dice, and here we go. It's that is scary. That is scary, and I hope that they, Kane Hodder, and the rest give Monster-Mania flack for this, because that shouldn't be able to happen.
I agree. I agree completely.
Here we go. Bitch having fun with. Here we go. Wee. Yeah, but it's like a machete is a little bit worse than than an axe and a sword, in the sense that a machete is made to be thin, so it's easy to slice and dice and easy to do quick swings with it, and it doesn't get stuck. That is why it's so dangerous, and that is why I'm so surprised that a sharpened one was let into actors, because actors have a problem usually with over enthusiastic fans. We can call it that. I would say insane people, but that's all right. So, except from running over cars, machete slices, and other stuff like that, I guess the convention overall can be called a failure.
Yeah, more or less. I mean, with all the shit that went down and happened over the weekend, for fans it was a failure. For the people running it, and the people who set it up, it was a success. They're probably their biggest success, because they probably made more money than their last two conventions combined with the amount of people who went.
Yeah, and that is kind of sad, isn't it? It's it hurts a little bit. It stings. It's like, we know they made money of showing up nothing, and well, I think we covered Monster-Mania pretty well this podcast. So I want to thank you for joining in, and you're always welcome again on the show. And I thank you for filling in the catastrophe that is this year's Monster-Mania.
Yep, my pleasure.
And I will upload this probably tomorrow, edit it and upload it, and I will link all of the coverage that Bates had done on the Monster-Mania issue, including everything from Dead Entertainment that he has done, which is a horror site that he works for. I will link everything in the description for you, so you can check it out yourself to see that we didn't just do this podcast to shit on the event. This was actually shit. It's like, need to cover my own ass here. Well, thank you, Bates, for joining me. And I will probably contact you sooner or later about other topics to come on and talk about. And so thank you so much for that. And do you have anything to say to the people watching?
No, just if you guys are curious about some of the better things that happened at this particular convention, make sure you check out deadentertainment.com. I have the We Were Jason full panel. It was about an hour long, recorded, and it is exclusively posted over on deadentertainment.com. So anyone who couldn't make it to the convention or who couldn't stay for Saturday night's event, they can at least watch it and enjoy a really great panel with, especially with Ted White, who played Jason in part 4. He's in his early 90s, and the guy has some amazing stories. So, I mean, it's worth it to watch just for some of Ted White's answers alone.
And that sounds amazing. Actually, I will this weekend watch this Jason panel. I'm sorry I haven't watched it already. I've been swamped this week, but I will watch it this weekend. And for all of you out there, I will thank you all for coming out to watch this podcast. It will be uploaded to YouTube tomorrow because since I am a Twitch affiliate, I have a 24-hour exclusivity deal, which I have to honor because otherwise they ban my ass, I guess. So I will upload it tomorrow or Sunday. And well, thank you, Bates, again. I hope to talk to you soon.
Yeah, you got it. Thank you for having me again.
I'll see you guys around.
All right, later, everybody. Thank you.
All right, so thank you everyone for joining in on this podcast. I really appreciate it. I had it was an interesting topic talking about Monster-Mania. Bates have a lot of material on this. I will link it all when I upload the video, so you don't have to miss anything. Not the bad or the good stuff, So we don't like to just show one side of it. Obviously, there was good sides to it too. And well, this is gonna be it for me tonight. Thank you everyone for joining in. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you guys maybe tomorrow or Sunday. Thank you so much for coming in to the Horror Hotel for the best horror show on the planet.